This movie is fascinatingly interesting with how much the executives butt-fucked this movie.
And with those absolutely beautiful words, hello and welcome everybody to the AWKWARDCast. ANY and Keyframe wonder about random drivel, and today with us to finally provide a little bit of class to this otherwise awkward cast, the Dom.
Hello.
How
Who
are
are
you
you
doing?
for the people who don't know who you are?
Who are you? What do you do? Why should people care?
Elevator pitch, go.
I'm a D-list YouTuber. I compare adaptation. I'm an adaptation critic, essentially. I compare films to the books they're based on. And for some reason, people find that interesting. So,
well,
that's about the summary. Sorry.
And sometimes stuff gets lost in adaptation.
I did. Yep.
I said so. You said. Sorry.
He said it. He did it. He did it.
But yeah, Dom. But this is actually my first question. What do I call you? Just Dom? Or
Dom's fine.
Dom. Okay.
The Dom thing has been such a two-edged sword since it started, because I didn't think through the implications of it until it was far too late to change it.
Yeah, and then
I was watching Scrubs. I was like, the Todd. That sounds funny. I'll be the Dom. And it wasn't until like months later that I got an endorsement from Doug Walker, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you have to have a safe word." And I was like, "Safe word? What's he talking about?" Oh shit! Oh, I'm gonna help that for a while,
well,
and then
50 Shades happened.
Then 50 Shades happened. So yeah, that worked out pretty good, because everyone was like searching for. They wanted to hear what an actual dominant thought about 50 Shades. They found my. It's not what I was looking for, but I'll give it a watch anyway. And then my channel like tripled in subscribers because of it. So.
I didn't
have
know
you
that
opened
part.
Have you opened up like a PO box yet? Because I guarantee you the first thing you're gonna get in your PO box is people sending you stuff from like Spencer's and the sex stores and shit of like the bondage gear and everything, being like, here you go, daddy.
Give them ideas. It's the joke already runs rampant without it.
Well, it's that or people sending you dresses. You don't exactly help your own case. But speaking of which, what have you been doing this week? What's been going on in the life of the?
I was finishing off the Harry Potter episode, the fan-made thing, because I put a thing on Twitter saying, "Hey, would you rather see Game of Thrones or Harry Potter?" And Harry Potter just won slightly, so I was having to be Terrence again, which is always a bit of a mind fuck, because I'm a bit of a method actor, so I have to get into the mind zone of an absolute d-bag. Well, it's always pleasant for my girlfriend to be around me. I'm just walking around the aviator just like, "Hey, baby, how you doing?"
That poor woman.
Mm-hmm.
She better get a special credit in the video, being like, "Special thanks to my girlfriend."
I mean, if putting up with me was enough to get a credit, she'd be in every video. So. But yeah, it's a Six Flags. Actually got horribly sunburnt, but enjoyed the roller coasters. Had the shit scared out of me on every single. So I'm terrified of heights, but also determined to go on every roller coaster. So
Which one was your favorite?
X2, because I was like fake scream. I was like, ah, and then it's like, oh, it's turning into a real scream. Now I am definitely going to die. Yes, I am definitely not going to survive this roller coaster.
Oh yeah.
It's like down. They force you to stare at the ground as you're at the zenith of it. It's fucking terrifying.
Oh yeah, it's just I love this. I went on it like a few weeks ago. I never went on it before, and I was like, okay, that wasn't so bad. Why are we going backwards? No.
But also, it's hidden. Like you don't. It's behind like a roller coaster, behind some trees, so you don't really get an idea of what's coming until you're already on the roller coaster.
All you see is the one loop, and you're like, okay, this doesn't look too bad. It's bigger than I thought. Okay.
It just keeps on going and going, and then you feel like you're in free fall, and then if your belt never goes on tight enough, so I was going So yeah, that ride hated me, but I loved it. So
did you go on the Lex Luthor VR drop ride?
Wait, that's VR?
Yeah, there's like a drop ride where they give you a VR headset as you're going up, so it looks like you're with Lex Luthor and you're like hovering over Metropolis, and then you go down, like falling from anti-gravity. It's amazing.
That's even scarier then, because like vertical ones are just too much for me. So I said to Kaluna, I was just like, I can do every other ride, but if I'm going to do that one, we have to do it last. And by the time we came to it, we were too tired. So we bought season passes to do it later. But I was just, if you can't even actually see how high you are, that's That's even scarier. Fucking hell.
Yeah, it makes you think that you're over an entire city. But then you get caught in the arms of Wonder Woman, so that's a plus.
Well, okay.
Sold. Yeah, I guess I really have to check out Six Flags LA when I am in the area again. Because so far I only know Six Flags Dallas, which has what's the name of the big one?
Oh, the Texas Giant.
Yeah.
Great place. Don't go during Fright Week. Their employees are assholes.
Awesome. Yeah, I've got a friend who works for Universal. Sometimes he works in the Halloween special thing. So he says, yeah, they're sort of they have a in-joke amongst the other employees to see how much they can make people saw themselves.
Lovely. But yeah, Keyframe, what's going on in your week? Or has been going on?
Still Deadpool 2?
Oh, sorry.
We're going through...
Yeah. My bad.
No problem.
Deadpool 2 is the media segment. We just go through the week and then we talk about media.
Somebody did not watch the introduction video.
I paid a little. I sort of half watched it.
It's okay.
Cool.
It's okay, Dom. I know having to sit through us for this podcast is enough of your annual dosage of people like us. We are not going to make you take a pre-dosage.
It was a good video. I like you guys have a tutorial mission.
Yeah, but what has been going on in the week of Key? Well, I've been essentially kind of like I sat down on Monday and was like, okay, I have a week before I have to travel because I literally fly out on the 1st. So I have until the end of May to get a shit ton of work done. Let's do it. Felt really tired at the beginning of the week and slept through most of Monday and Tuesday. But then Wednesday came along and I became a lot more productive. I've been working on 4 videos at once. I've never. It's an essential thing of. It's the same thing with me working on drawings because I'm an artist by trade. I have to work. I have to have multiple pieces that I can work on because I will get bored of working on the same piece for too long. I will go into the whole like, all work and no play makes Key a dull boy kind of thing, and. So it's the same thing with video editing. I discovered
that's why you get into into murderous rampages when we play HOTS between editing.
Yeah, exactly. But it's the essential thing of I haven't been able to video edit for a long time because I've just been busy and real life hits you hard, bro, and all that stuff. And I love it, and I love doing like because I do like the Matt Paddish like making graphics and having fun with the whole thing. But that comes with a level of tedium of having to go through so many passes to make sure, is this leaving the screen too fast or too slow? Does this look jumpy? Making sure everything looks good. I want to die.
Perfectionists, I can't stand them.
Yeah, that's why you hired an editor for your stuff.
Maybe.
But like I've been happily working on that, and I came up with the thing that if I work really hard, I could, in theory, have a video for every Saturday in the month of June. And that it both makes me happy and terrified because I'm like, I'm going to set up a very unreachable expectation for my fans come July. They'll be like, Key's back, yay! July, nothing. July, pure silence. And it's like, oh, sorry, I have cons. Bye. But, yeah, so that's been that, and then working on art pieces and general stuff for DA games that I can't really say. But a cool thing that's been going on this week that I wasn't there for because, well, busy. MomoCon's been happening, and Will Ryan, my boss and stuff, have been at MomoCon. And it was the place where they sold the greatest hits album that had my artwork on it. And I've been seeing pictures of people buying the album and stuff. And there's some joy that I get of seeing my artwork on a physical CD that I'm like, that is so cool. When are you going to mail me one? I'm not buying my own artwork. But besides that, it's been a general thing of you know, just making sure things get done, being a functional human being. My sleep schedule, I think I do have a great story though, and then I can move on. Let me tell you about the incompetency of my pharmacist.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, this is Key's first world problem rant. So, of all prescriptions that should be easy to get, birth control should be one of them, because all they do is prevent you from having babies. And I already had a birth control prescription. I just need to get a new refill thing. This pharmacist took like a half hour to tell me, oh, there's no way that we can contact your person. And I was like, I told you guys to contact them like 2 months ago. Yeah, we faxed them once and they never replied. Do you ever think of contacting them more than once? By not fax, by, calling?
Is fax even still a thing?
I don't know. Apparently, doctors in California may still live in the 80s. They may have soda streams in their private practices. I don't know. But I was just like, okay, thank you for wasting a half hour of my time. And this has been going on for 2 months of me being like, please, I just want my pills. Great thing to say in the middle of a Walmart, too, just saying. So I was like, fuck it. I went to Planned Parenthood and I was like, okay. They were very nice there. They just asked me questions and stuff. I was like, I've been dealing with this for 2 months. Please help me. And they're like, sit in the waiting room. I sat in the waiting room for 45 minutes while the only channel that they had on the TV was the fucking Golf Network. So I was slowly dying. And then they came in. They were like, Christine? And I'm like, oh, hi, yeah. Okay, we've got your pills. They hand me this giant grocery bag, and I'm like, what the fuck is in here? Oh, 10 months worth of birth control pills. And I'm like, I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to walk out of here with this giant bag of drugs. And the thing is that they were stacked on top, like they were in their own little packets and stacked on top of each other and wrapped up. It looked like I had crack, like those packages of crack that like cartels have. And I'm like, I know what these pills are actually for, but now I feel weird. But 10 months of not having to deal with a doctor or a pharmacist, I feel great. This ended with a happy story.
It made you happy as if it would have been crack.
Exactly. So that was my week. How was your week, Max?
Good, by the way, since I'm super up to speed and everything, this was what you were talking about, right?
Yes, the one on his right hand with the Superman pose. That is the Greatest Hits album that I did the artwork for.
Ah, nice.
I wish he took a better picture of it though, because man, it's hard to see.
I believe there was another one. Scrolling.
Professionalism.
Yes, I know. But that's the problem. I didn't exactly know which one we were talking about. You mean this one?
Yeah, right there. Oh God, I'm so. It's in the top left corner. I'm so happy. I have like the high quality art. We're going to be releasing just the high quality art so people can see it soon. But we didn't want to do that before the album came out.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah.
My week.
Say your week. Well, I have to walk away for 1 minute. Professionalism.
Great. Yeah, my week was mostly normal. Lots of work, the usual. However, I had the fantastic idea of making my Discord public this week. And usually I get those great ideas at like midnight my time. So it's like, you know what, guys? I post the link to my Discord now everywhere. 2 hours later, shit, I really need to go to bed. I have work in the morning. But yeah, I set up a Discord. So far, it has not exploded or imploded. People are still talking with each other, and they're doing so in mostly friendly tones. So that's a good thing. But yeah, it kept me kind of busy over the last 2 days. Because yeah, I mean, for those people interested, go to my Twitter somewhere. The link should still be there and still should still be valid if you want to check it out for yourself. But yeah, we had a few attempts of trolls coming in. We set up a system where there is only one channel and the rules visible for every newcomer, and they only can see more when you give them a role. And some guy managed to smuggle 2 accounts through there, and then suddenly within the Discord, he started posting like borderline not safe for work pictures. And first I was like, okay, maybe he is just, maybe it was just a misjudgment. I'm like, dude, this picture there. I mean, yes, they are wearing clothes, but it is very. Could you maybe put it in the loot launch instead, in the not safe for work channel?
There were camel toes galore.
Yeah, and he removed it for anime. So not as bad, but still.
No, he didn't remove it. I did.
Oh, okay. I had the naive hope that he did it himself, and I was like, okay, apparently he's willing to behave. But then he just kept antagonizing people, and I was like, out. And then 2 minutes later, a different account changed the name and the profile pic to the same name and thing, and was like, missed me. And I'm like, well played, good sir, and banned.
It was not even creative. Same profile picture, same name, just with a little trademark symbol at the end of it.
But yeah, so this was the worst so far, because actually raiding acquires too much effort for the average troll. Besides that, I actually... Did this already happen last? No, this really only happened yesterday, that I finally sat down. I finished my next That Stupid Superman. I wrote the script, I recorded the script, and I sent it to my editor on Friday.
Poor editor.
Yeah, my editor, who just had some kind of accident, and one of his arms is... I believe it's not. No,
it wasn't his arm. He somehow eviscerated part of his finger on his left hand, and he's a lefty. And so he had surgery. Now he has a full cast. Like, he described his hand cast. Essentially, his hand is now a hoof for the next few weeks, for the next like month. But he's like, but I can still edit on my right hand, sir.
We will see how it goes. He has the audio now. All well wishes to him, but for once I did my part.
Yeah, very much so.
But besides that, not too much going on.
So what is it? So I guess this is the moving to medias.
Yes, except for... Wait, where do I put it? I guess I put it on you, on top of you, Keyframe.
Okay.
Oh, bye.
Oh.
Yeah, Watchdogs 2. So, I played this game for a first time a while ago on stream, but yeah, when you play on stream, you still play differently. And but after the stream, I came back to it and I played it a little bit more, and I have to say, I have very mixed feelings about it. I mean, first of all, it's a good-looking game. It's a giant game. I mean, they have rebuilt the entire city of LA. I don't know in how much detail, but it's...
That's not LA, that's San Francisco.
Oh yeah, right. Alcatraz is San Francisco, sorry.
Gosh, German, why don't you know your Californian geography? God!
I wonder why. I mean, and Golden Gate Bridge and stuff, you can see this there. And the idea is, for those who have no idea what Watchdogs is about, it's like you are a hacker, you have your smartphone. It's a little bit about the fears of technology nowadays, but you are a good guy, you're a white hacker, you're going around and manipulating stuff in your surroundings, like cross lights, like you make pipes explode to get pursuers to off of you. You have your little gadgets and stuff. I'm not sure how much is exclusive in Watch Dogs 2 and how much was also in Part 1. I heard that Part 1 got a lot of shit, first of all, because they did a horrible port and did completely false advertisement. And, but yeah, then who was it? Some YouTuber was like, hey, Watch Dogs 2 actually pretty good game. It did a lot of stuff right. The first one failed on. Sadly, the people have been burned by the first one, therefore the second one kind of underperformed. However, now after...
No, Watchdog 2 has emoticon goggles, man.
That's true. It has wrench. Let me find a picture of Wrench from Watchdogs 2.
He has a pair of goggles that has like LED lights in the eyes where he can essentially make emojis for his eyes, and it's actually really cool looking. And I'm like, the first thing I did when I saw that, I was like, Etsy, LED light wrench goggles, and they do have them.
Yeah. Let me see if we can actually see him a little bit, because this is actually pretty amazing. There he is, and you see
That guy.
Yes, and you see his eyes actually change automatically with what he wants to.
Yeah, totally with his dots.
Yeah, and
there we go.
Yes, I love him. He's a very fun character, but
he's the breakout guy. He's Nathan Fillion's character in Destiny 2 kind of thing.
Then we have the love interest, and we have the autistic genius. I mean, he's literally described as autistic in the game, so I'm not shit-talking him here. Yeah, question marks in the eyes. Nevertheless, so the cast itself, I would say, it's fine. It's a fine cast. I mean, this is the main cast. You are the dude with the backpack. I would say they get nerds down better than many media.
But
yeah, but with a certain but, it still is very trope-tastic. I mean, like, oh, we are so edgy, oh, we are so red, but at least the stuff they talk about, it feels a little bit more authentic. Like, you have a scene where they freak out over a trailer for a very trashy action movie, and yes, this is how people react to very trashy action movies. They completely freak out if they are fanboys. So this kind of stuff does work. However, the overall gameplay, there are nice ideas, but you don't have a proper fail state, which I find a little bit sad. So it's an open world game. You can run around, you can run into basically every neighborhood, you can piss off other gangs, but nothing has consequences. It feels a little bit like Fallout games.
It sounds like a Just Cause, where you do things just cause.
Yeah, exactly. But with the difference that Just Cause is first of all more of a third world country, and also it has a more wacky, random nature. While this one here tries to pretend a serious narrative. With some kind of super corps that collect all the data and actually ruin people's lives and stuff like this. And but it's like in one mission I accidentally picked the wrong weapon. I have a taser gun, but I accidentally picked my rear gun and started killing people. I'm like, oops, okay, apparently now I'm a killer in this game. It's you far too easily kill people, but it has no consequences. I don't know if at the end screen, when I finish the game, it will tell me like, oh, dude, you killed 100 people. I'm like, oh, oops, no perfect ending. But
Grand Theft Auto.
Sorry?
So it's more like Grand Theft Auto then.
Yeah, kind of. But it also tries to suggest like, hey, we are the good guys. We are saving the little man. We are fighting for them by messing with the corporations and stuff. But then you
check out my After Effects presets, yo.
Yeah, but then you go back and but then you steal cars left and right. You steal money from just random people on the street by hacking their accounts. You murder people left and right if you want so without consequences. Very mixed in tone. And also then you have a mission where you have to pick something up in a high security area. You go in there, you make your way in there, you pick it up, but on the way out you get spotted and shot. So it respawns you, normal, okay, but it respawns you outside the area. All police and enemies are gone, and you still got the item. So no, the stakes are super low. Death is actually it's not just that death has no consequences. Death is basically the failsafe. So I got my item, now I can die. Oh, nice! Now I'm outside on the street. The cops are gone, stealing the next car, driving home. Like
shooting grandma.
Yeah,
good day.
Yeah, it's sadly. It feels like they tried a lot of stuff but failed on certain points. I would say it's still an interesting experience, and they have some fun, wacky stuff in there. So on a sale, I would say, sure, check it out. But I cannot, in good conscience, be like, hey, great game, play it. I mean, I might play it a little bit longer with more focus on the main mission because so far, of course, I got distracted and played a go-kart side mission where you run for the local college in go-kart races and steal components to make your go-kart better and murder people in the process because that's how you win go-kart races.
That sounds like the people in Grand Theft Auto where instead of playing the actual story, they went golfing and shit because you can do that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is fine, but yeah, whatever. So this is Watchdogs 2. An interesting game, as I said, on a sale. Maybe check it out or share your own personal experiences with it if you have any in the comments down below. But
I know there's some story behind how this game got made because the first one flopped so hard. Everyone was like, "There's no way this is going to get a sequel." It did anyway because I don't know, some sort of loophole. They were already committed to doing 3 of them. There's some bizarrity that led to this game's creation.
It's one of those 3 movie deal kind of things where you have to fulfill the contract.
Everything needs to come in trilogies nowadays.
But then again, it was made by Ubisoft. Ubisoft isn't exactly not known for,
milking it.
Yeah.
But yeah, talking about franchises that come in trilogies. Did somebody here see a second part of a movie this week?
Nope.
Oh.
Damn it!
Yes. Yes.
Well played, good sir. But yeah, for the first time, no, actually not for the first time. I believe I did this before, talking about media you had already picked Keyframe. But yeah, Dom, what did you bring to share with class today?
I saw Deadpool 2. I quite liked it. Good movie.
That's it.
Honestly, that does kind of sum it up because it's like, what we were expecting. The first one was really good. It was either going to flop really hard or it was going to be pretty good. So I'm glad it fell into the latter category.
Any comparison without going too deep into spoiler? Would you say like, hey, where does it settle compared to the first one or other movies?
It's tricky. I mean, it's definitely deeper than the first one. They really play with your emotions in this one. Last one was just kind of funny all the way through. This one, there were some moments where it's like, wait, is this really in a Deadpool movie? This is genuinely emotional. It's probably why I got Celine Dion to do the soundtrack. But
wait, Celine Dion gets a "oh fuck, it's a Juggernaut" song during the credits.
Yeah, I'm gonna say probably not that one. That was a very funny song, though. I was trying to hear the words when they were actually in the movie itself. I was like, oh shit, oh shit.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
Juggernaut, holy shit.
That's it. Yeah, no, it's hard to talk about spoilers because all the best stuff is like stuff that happened like right at the end and stuff. But I did have to Google like, is the post-credit stuff canon? Because like, doesn't that?
Yes.
I asked the same question.
Yes.
Because it's like, because it implies that the events of the movie still happen.
Yeah, but wait. Just in case.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, well, it implies that the events still happen because if he saved his girlfriend, Cable's thing would have just eviscerated into nothingness.
Well, I mean, because Cable still would have come back, but he never would have got picked up by the X-Men. He never would have got sent into the icebox. And then he wouldn't have been there.
Never happened.
So unless he went back in time, saved his girlfriend, and then just went and asked to join the X-Men regardless and played out the rest of the storyline without talking to anyone else. But it seems iffy to me.
Yeah, I mean, he still had like God, what's the normal guy's name who just saw the ad? Peter? Or...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he right after he saved his girlfriend, he fast-forwarded, and he was still doing the X-Force jumping out of the ship thing. So it's like...
Yeah, I guess
did he just did he just explain to Colossus that he was like, oh, I'm having a midlife crisis, can I be an X-Men now? And then completely fail at it?
You have to assume that he had to find a way to make the rest of it happen, otherwise he's fucked over everyone else, really.
Yeah.
But also, I want to know, did he save the rest of X-Force too? Because if he just saved Peter, that's so mean.
Yes, but Peter was a good guy.
Let Terry Crews dies. He's a beautiful cinnamon roll of a man.
He let Brad Pitt die because
it was so quick over. I didn't even recognize him.
I was like, wait, is that? Okay, yeah, okay, good cameo there, movie.
I mean, this movie was great at doing those kind of things because it took me a minute toilet paper monologue that there was having. I was like, why does this guy's voice sound familiar? Is that Matt Damon? And then I Googled it when I came home, and I was like, holy fuck, that's Matt Damon. They just made him fat.
Oh, he was a fat guy.
Yeah, he was
I
the
thought
fat
he
guy.
was the other guy.
No, he was just the fat guy talking about baby wipes.
That was Matt Damon.
Yes, that was Matt Damon. Deadpool 2, Matt Damon is a fat man, confirmed.
What is Matt Damon doing these bit parts? Because wasn't Matt Damon in Thor for like
Yes,
5
in Ragnarok he was playing Loki, I believe.
No, wait, hold on. I now want to look this up. Thor, Ragnarok, Matt Damon. It was the most guarded secret. And was he playing it in that little play that was being held in?
Yes, and he was Loki in the play.
Me and Kaluna have a fan theory that that's actually Matt Damon playing himself. Loki kidnapped him from Earth to force him to be in his play.
You know, with how the Marvel movies are written, especially for Ragnarok, that wouldn't surprise me.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
God, that movie was good. And so was Deadpool 2.
But yeah, apparently he's just bored of being an actual actor, so he just comes like, yeah, I'll come do like a role. I'll do like 30 seconds of the movie, then I'm done.
I mean, that's essentially like what actors like Patrick Stewart and stuff does now. It's like, you know what? I'm a Shakespearean trained actor. Let's go voice on Seth MacFarlane shows and crappy kids films.
Yeah. Let me play.
I got Logan. I got Logan, and that will be the thing of, look, I still do good work.
Let me play literal poop.
It is. What's really funny, have you ever seen like the makings of the early stuff of Star Trek? Apparently when he started out, he was a thespian trained actor. He felt he was above Star Trek, and he only agreed to it because they promised him it would only last one season and then get cancelled. And so he was like a nightmare to work with. Like, we are not here to have fun, we're going to act as best as we can. And then apparently he developed this sense of humor. The rest of the cast helped him like loosen up over the first couple of seasons of Star Trek. So yeah, the person he is now is like the exact opposite of how he was when he first started acting, apparently.
I had no idea. Nice.
He's the arc, basically, as an actor.
So it's safe to assume that many of his infamous Captain Picard face palms have actually been him literally face palming upon what happens on this set. Like, oh, those imbeciles playing astronauts.
Riker, will you put your fucking foot down for once in a scene? Just don't step up on something. Just once. That's all I ask.
You know, Dota. Just because you play a robot doesn't mean you have to act like one. Put some emotion in your voice. I can't imagine him being mean though. That's so weird because like he's just grown into such a well-rounded person.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. That's something like
nice guy.
I think it's really cool.
I mean, especially when you see him off camera, not as a character, like especially with Ian McGregor.
Ewan McGregor?
Is it Ian McGregor? But yeah, his buddy. Magneto and him are actually real life buddies.
And Magneto?
Yeah.
But yeah, they're actually real life buddies, and you see them in all kinds of talk shows and random stuff where they just appear, and they are just so nice and funny people. It's amazing, and they're so chill about everything. You wouldn't believe it.
Patrick Stewart's just that guy in every like teen movie of like that buttoned up dad who tries to stop the kids party, but then he starts to get into it too, and he's like, "Yo, man, I'm cool now."
Hello, fellows.
Kids.
YouTube of him heckling Brent Snyder at a convention.
Oh.
Like the guy who played Data was on the stage and he was drunk and he was like, "Mr. Snyder, is it true that you know Sir Patrick Stewart? Aren't you lucky?" And it goes on for like 10 minutes. It's fucking hilarious.
If it's on YouTube, the link is in the description.
Yes. What is it, Patrick Stewart heckling thingy?
Yeah, well, we'll be sure to find it. But did you have any further thoughts on Deadpool 2 or anything, or?
Sorry, I get distracted really easily. So are we okay with spoilers at this point? We've kind of
we'll just put the spoiler thing up. Who cares? The movie's been out for like 2.5 weeks. The grace period is gone.
Fair enough. Yeah. No. Let's see.
Oh wait, more spoilers, is it?
The bit where they killed off all of X-Force was kind of jarring because I'm just like, oh my goodness, it escalated so fast. Everyone, like, there's a guy who's pulled in through a shredder.
Yeah,
the compost shredder, like, oof.
This was some really messed up shit. Yeah, I mean, it's something I said last week, like, the amount of collateral to people happening in this one. This was really... At some point, I really felt like, am I still allowed to laugh at this?
What was the lucky girl? Her name was like Domino.
Yeah, Domino.
When she was running, she was doing her lucky montage thing. She was running, there were cars spinning around her and hitting into like gas stations and exploding, and the explosion would make lampposts fall on the truck.
People are dead.
So there could have been children in that car.
Yes.
Like, okay, I know you're trying to save a 14-year-old boy, but you're killing so many people.
Yes, I know. But yeah.
So yeah, that could have done without that, but apart from that, it was very, very funny. It's like one of they're really skirting the line of too much fourth wall breaking, but that's something you can't really complain about that in Deadpool, because it's kind of his thing.
But yeah, so the Doms, final thoughts.
Oh, on Deadpool? Yeah, no, definitely see that for 100%. There was like the bit with the baby feet where he's growing his legs back, just
ooh.
Like the bit where you see his little baby penis for like a second. I just couldn't. That's Dom humor apparently.
Did it go with your basic instinct?
I feel like this is the Dom joke, but I don't get it.
No, because him doing the little leg moving thing where you see the dick, it's from Basic Instinct.
Oh, right, yeah, the crossing thing. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's.
I mean, they even
say it in the movie.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, no, that entire scene was just so well done. It had me laughing from start to finish. So yeah, very, very.
It was a bit hard to take, but it was funny.
I
mean, I would rather the baby dick than Juggernaut's ass, but you know.
About that was yeah.
But yeah. Okay, this leaves one person to talk about stuff this week.
Hi.
So I actually have no idea what this is, what you sent me. I will just put it on screen and you explain.
Okay, my media is a YouTuber named Rebecca Parham. This was just the only 1920 by 1080 thumbnail I could find. She's a YouTube animator, and I watch a lot of the YouTube animators. I watch Jaden, I watch The Odd Ones Out, I watch a lot of them. She has become my favorite. She has this... For one thing, her bodies actually look like human bodies. And there's something about how she tells stories that are very not like over dramatic, but she just has a good voice for telling stories because she was a theater kid. And she actually went to the Ringling College of Art and Design, this very famous art college. And so she's one of the few YouTube animators that actually have college education in animation, and her stuff is so good. And she recently came back into my mind because she put up a new video recently about her emotionally abusive theater teacher, which is a great video. I totally recommend people watch it. That's probably going to be the thing in the description. I really love her style because when you watch most of the YouTube animators, they do like a lot of squash and stretch type things. She doesn't. Everything is pose to pose, but she's so dynamic in what the characters are doing. And she actually makes the backgrounds and everything. It feels so polished, which is something I crave a lot when it comes to this stuff. Like, I love this new era of YouTube animation, but it's interesting to see, like, how can you economize the animation while still having this higher level of quality. And she definitely does that. And you may notice she doesn't do mouths, and I'm perfectly fine with this because her expression and posing is so good that that you don't need the lip syncing for the expression. It's all told through eyes. And she answered that in a Q&A once. She was like, why do you do that? And it was because one of her college professors really loved Gromit from Wallace and Gromit because he could tell so much emotion through just his eyes, and she just kind of stuck with that ever since. And I love her stuff. Also, look at that happy face. She's so cute. But I totally recommend her emotionally abusive theater teacher story because it resonated a lot with me of, you know, having this feeling like you have to please someone, but once you finally let that go, you just feel so much self-confidence in yourself, and realizing, you know, the moment that you finally stand up for yourself is when you feel the strongest. And she explains it better than I, and I really didn't have a long media to do because I didn't go see Solo.
My crazy theater teacher, or my teacher murdered someone?
My crazy theater teacher. Yeah, one of her college professors, she found out after she graduated, murdered someone.
Oh, for real? So this is not
Yes.
just a crazy clickbaity thumbnail, this is real?
No, this is real.
What the hell?
She talked about how this teacher was very, very weird. Like, he would come into class dressed like a pauper, so like really raggedy clothes, and was kind of crazy. And then after she graduated, someone linked her a news article saying, oh yeah, this person killed someone, went across state lines, and then killed themselves. It's like,
holy shit!
Oh!
What the
Wow,
hell?
But yeah, she's a great storyteller. Let me just say that.
I mean, yeah, sure. Let's listen to her voice.
So for this story, I think we'll call him E. Although I guess I could use his real name, considering he's, you know, dead.
Wow! Holy shit!
This is one of her earlier videos, so she doesn't have like the bouncy-ness that you get when you become more accustomed to a microphone, but... But that's a good video to watch as a way to get introduced, or her latest video. But she's so good, and she was one of those people that just soared really quickly, because she went from, you could actually see like her 100,000 sub special, and then she had a 500,000 sub special, and then like months apart, she's over 1 million now, and she was actually one of the YouTubers that was one of the animation YouTubers that was featured at the end of the YouTube Rewind, and I'm like, that's so cool. I feel so bad for her though, because she had a very interesting story. Apparently, YouTube contacted them like 2 weeks before the Rewind was coming out, being like, hey, can you animate something for YouTube Rewind for free? So they didn't get paid to do that animation.
Of course not.
They gave them a list of like the memes that they were referencing. So like the backpack dance, or like slime, the fidget spinners, you know, stuff that was in the video. And she picked one of them, and they contacted her being like, oh, Jaden and James are already doing that one. You have to do this other one, The Floor is Lava. And she's like, but I'm almost done animating this one. And they're like, oh, it's okay. You can finish animating that, but you still have to animate the other one. So that's why she has 2 animation sequences in there, purely because YouTube's incompetent. And she didn't talk about it in a negative way, because she made a video being like, oh, I got on YouTube Rewind. That's super cool. They manually demonetized her video about talking about being in YouTube Rewind, which was a positive video, might I add. And that stirred up a bunch of stuff.
Well,
and that...
How is that not safe for advertisers?
I don't know, but apparently she like tried to appeal it, and they manually said no, it's not monetizable. And she's one of the most family-friendly channels besides like the murder story. But like, you know, most of the YouTube animation channels are relatively family-friendly. They don't show anything explicit or anything. So it's like, yeah. And so she even deserves more love, because God damn it, I would not have handled it as well as she did, you know?
I've seen so many horror stories in regards to YouTube Rewind. Like I've people who are in the live action part of it, like they had them waiting all day and with like covered in pink slime with no like towels or bathing facilities and inside there. Oh
yeah.
And then they brought in like the 10 million YouTubers. They did their stuff and they left, while there's 1 million YouTubers just sort of like, hi, still in the background here, freezing to death. Thanks for that.
I remember hearing a story about one of them, because someone made a video being like why they're not going to accept YouTube Rewind anymore. And what happened was they didn't make the slime correctly or something, and it stained their hair for like 3 weeks straight, because their thing was, okay, when you get in the slime, make sure your head gets covered and everything. And it's like, why are you making the slime that will stain people's hair?
And she was in it for like a billionth of a second in the end, in the actual finished after all this.
Yeah, the YouTube Rewind production team apparently has gotten progressively worse and worse and worse over the years because like PewDiePie has talked about like, yeah, the first time that I was on it, they were actually really nice and it got really good. And then sometime around like 2016, they gave it to another company and it just got really bad. And I'm like, you know what? That may be a reason, Felix. YouTube is not exactly smart with creating it's like, because YouTube Rewind is just this advertisement for YouTube, let's face it. But it's like, you know, a great way to advertise your channel is to show who's on your platform for more than a half second each, except for the Paul brothers. Maybe. So I'm gonna be nice to them and just be like, okay, they probably filmed a lot of the YouTube Rewind stuff before the drama happened. So there's certain things that I can't blame them.
The Paul brothers have been drama long before that. But yeah, sorry, Dom, you were saying?
Well, so it was before like the really, really, really bad drama, but they made references to the fact that these two keep blowing up on each other in the actual video.
Yeah, but it was just like, that is more like, fabricated obnoxiousness, but that's different than what the actual, it's not the forest, let's put it like that, you know? So it's all that, but going back to Rebecca, she's actually super talented, and I love the fact she's blowing up, and it just goes into the whole, I'm so happy that this new generation of animators on YouTube is becoming big, and they are continuing to grow. And I hate this flack that the animation community is getting, this new animation community, because they're like, because everyone was like, oh, animation on YouTube is dead, I'm so sad, why can't it come back? And then you have the Storytime animators, and they're like, this isn't the right kind of animation. I'm like, you do realize you have to adapt. You can't have Newgrounds skits become the big thing anymore. That's just simply not viable. It's like people don't understand the concept of having to economize to fit content. And they're like, oh, we want skits and stuff. Then go to Newgrounds. Newgrounds still has a thriving community of people making that stuff. But YouTube is personality based. And they are still putting effort into it because animation or animatics, which a lot of them are, take a fucking long time, especially when these people, if you watch their videos, they're now making stuff like 10-minute long animations and stuff. You would have never seen that from the previous generation of YouTube except for maybe Ed's World. And even that took months.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know, but out of all of them, Rebecca, I think is my favorite. So I wanted to highlight her specifically because I'm one of her little oodalalis, as she calls her fans. So go check her out. She's really cute and precious.
So
I went on a rant there. I'm sorry.
You better. But yeah, I guess the good news is that there are not too many new questions, so we should be able to cover all questions.
Yeah, so I'm going to start from the bottom when people first saw it, because these are Dom-centered. Bright Idea says, hey, Dominic Smith, just saw you cross over 100,000 subs on YouTube recently. Clap. My sister reached the same milestone last weekend. How do you celebrate besides making your own melodramatic and totally relatable reaction video?
Oh, that reaction video. And Mark applied it up there.
A little bit.
I was going to celebrate properly when I got my silver play button, but I'm learning it takes like a million years to actually get that thing. So my friends came around and we got drunk and they got me a cake in the shape of a play button, which was cute, and said congrats on it.
Nice.
I got some good friends. So yeah, I didn't like go nuts with it because I was at a really busy point because I was like halfway between making two videos. So yeah, it's up to you, man. Depending on how excited you are, go nuts.
For once, the question Keyframe and I cannot co-answer at all.
If one day I reach 100,000 subs, I would probably just do what the Odd Ones Out does, try to figure out 100,000 of some kind of thing and get it. 100,000 sprinkles on a cake, I'll do you one better. 100,000 cakes on sprinkles.
Got more to celebrate.
Well, yeah, for me personally, I'm looking forward to my 10,000 subscriber special when I have burned the remaining 12,000 and are back down at 10,000. But I should plan something nice. I completely. My channel was, for context, but my channel was dead for 2 years, and then I came back with completely different context, like content, like this talk show, and I have a constant dribble of subscribers.
And I had the opposite thing where I went on a hiatus for the longest time, and my subs keep going up. I'm like, what is this bizarro world we have entered? Or if I ever become rich, this is a million something or diamond play button.
Please tell.
I would get 100,000 puppies. I want to be surrounded by 100,000 puppies.
This sounds great in theory, but 100,000 puppies need to go out poop at least 200,000 times a day.
No, here's the thing. It would just be the run of the puppies. So I would just release 100,000 puppies to just run.
Yeah, but they
go
would
on a
probably
long
not.
puppy race.
Yeah, but they are puppies.
Still behind a massive trail of shit.
Yes.
Yes, I wouldn't be the one cleaning it up. I would hire someone for that.
This sounds
I would
like
be
a
like-
very shitty job.
I would be like, dude, do you want to get $500? And someone will be like, yeah, man. Do you want just clean up puppy shit? It's just for one day. It'll probably take like just a few hours. Just clean up puppy shit. You get to pet the puppies. You get $500 and a free lunch. I don't know about.
It sounds good, but it would turn into a Lovecraftian nightmare because the ones at the front would be tripping, the ones at the back would be tripping in it. So you'd have 100,000 shit-covered puppies. They wouldn't stay on the road, escape into the town, and then suddenly you have this epidemic of shit puppies and destroying the world with their plague.
This is how the next plague happens, not through rats, but through shit-covered puppies.
Exactly, yeah. You've now started the Black Plague 2.0, but no one can bring themselves to stop it, because how do you stop a puppy? If a puppy, everyone's going to be like, I just can't stop you. The whole world is dying.
And I will purposely make them like cute Snow White Labrador puppies. So it's like they're adorable, but also you can see all the stains. This is great. Anyway,
Okay,
next
guys,
question.
Guys, you all heard it. Make sure that Keyframe never, ever reaches what was it, 100,000, a million? Never, ever reaches million subs. If she gets close, I'm sad to tell you guys, you have to unsubscribe. Otherwise, you doom humanity by shit puppies.
I'll have them run to the play button.
Hashtag unsubscribe to save the world.
No, if I go on Social Blade tomorrow and suddenly see like 20 people unsubscribe, I'll be like, Dom, you are officially my YouTube beef.
Ooh.
I'm the hero to your evil villain plan to end the world of Black Plague puppies. Come on.
Exactly. But next question by Tiffany Leavell or Pristine. I love this guy. Cool.
Yay.
Dom, have you ever...
Oh, somebody
Yes.
knows their Megamind.
Dom, have you ever covered TV miniseries when it comes to book adaptations? Like, my fave book adaptations is a miniseries of Pride and Prejudice. This is the second part of the question for all of us. What is your favorite book adaptation from any visual media source? Okay, so I guess like a book to movie kind of thing going on there. So, have you ever covered miniseries, Dom?
Yeah, I think just the one I did, the Shining miniseries, because I wanted to talk about how it differed from the movie and stuff like that. So I love the way that question's phrased, because it reminds me, I watch a lot of Q&A videos from like big name YouTubers, and what always seems to happen is that the person doesn't really want to ask a question. I'm not saying this is what this person wanted. It's just, it reminded me of it, in that they kind of actually just want to tell the YouTuber about their favorite thing. So they'll start it with a question. It's like, so Markiplier, what do you think is the best charity to donate to? And Mark will go to open his mouth to answer, say, because in my experience, and they'll go on to tell Markiplier about their favorite thing for the next 10
puppy
minutes.
orphanage is the best charity, and if you disagree with me, you hate puppies.
Exactly. So it's like these guys are desperate, not so much to hear what this guy has to say, but they're just desperate to tell this person what their favorite thing is and tell them a bit about themselves, which I'm not saying is necessarily a bad thing. It's just something I've noticed with the big leaguers, which really amused me.
You're a big leaguer, Dom.
What?
You're a big leaguer because this person did it to you.
No, I'm not saying this is necessarily what this person did. I say it just gave me flashbacks to these things I've seen. But it does seem to happen at conventions a lot. I've noticed, which is it's funny. But so, what was the second part of the question again?
The second part of the question was for all of us: is what's your favorite book adaptation to film or TV series or anything like that? So I guess if you like Game of Thrones, so that kind of thing. Though I tend to gravitate towards movie adaptations rather than TV adaptations personally. Mine would be Misery. Oh, sorry, you go. No, after you.
A lame excuse. I was going to say choosing a favorite is hard because I've seen so many of them now. It's like choosing a favorite child,
My personal favorite is because I love horror books and I'm a huge Stephen King fan. I grew up reading Stephen King books. Misery, I think, is one of the best adaptations from book to film. Like, it just has the right amount of deviantations while still being faithful to the original source material, because it's especially surprising when it comes to a Stephen King adaptation, because with Stephen King, you either get it exact and it's not good because there are some things on written paper that don't translate to film, because let's face it, Stephen King is a very prose heavy person. He's good at describing. It's a lot of tell don't show because, well, it's a book. He can help you paint a picture very well, but when the picture is already painted in the form of a film, you don't need this much exposition.
Yeah.
Or, the very famous adaptations of his films had nothing to do with the fucking book, like The Shining.
Shawshank Redemption is the exception to that rule in that it's very loyal to the book, but also very good. But that was slightly out of Stephen King's usual wheelhouse for writing anyway, because it was more about the personal journey in that book as much as about painting a world picture.
And it was also like more of the it was his little subsection of like novellas like Stand By Me and Green Mile and stuff. Like, it's not his horror stuff always gets botched. That's just his horror and mystery stuff just always get botched, like The Dark Towers and all that stuff, and I feel terrible for the guy. But Misery was just a wonderful film.
Like, have you seen it? It's like the size of the Bible.
It is the one Stephen King book that I went on my journey to try to read every Stephen King book that got turned into a film. It was the one that I couldn't finish simply because the library would not allow me to renew the thing for that long because of how long it takes to fucking read the damn book, and my mom wouldn't let me buy it. So it's like, oh well, I don't know. I guess I won't know what happens for the last third of the book. But like, Misery is just a great adaptation, great casting, has one of the most, as a personality on the internet, has one of the most horrifying concepts to me of a crazy fan taking you in.
I mean, it's not like you have ever had contact with entitled fans or something.
Is there a story there?
One?
I'm sorry, I just heard white noise and missiles in the back of my ears fading in. But that's my favorite adaptation. What about yours, Max?
Or I believe Dom was already ready to go.
Oh yeah, Dom, go.
My thing was literally just going to be a cop-out because I can't choose favourites with this sort of thing, because first of all, I first have to spend half an hour explaining what I mean by best, because best doesn't necessarily mean accurate, it doesn't mean accurate.
Yeah. Okay, well, what about one that you think that more people should check out? Like something you really like that isn't exactly a very well-known public one. Underrated.
If you take mine away, which I came up with difficulty. No, I want to hold you.
I gotta check from my backlog to decide on this, so you go ahead.
Okay, fair enough. I actually had a hard time coming up with one on the spot, since I am not a very passionate reader, to be honest. Spending far too much time reading fan fiction instead, which thankfully most of the time gets not turned into anything visual.
You mean Ready Player One?
Ooh, burn.
But I like Ready Player One just fine. It was entertaining. But anyway, go on.
No, and I also didn't want to go for the obvious ones like Harry Potter or Game of Thrones. But I remembered that I actually read other books that got turned into visual movies, which I can recommend. Discworld. Like,
Oh, I love
yes,
Discworld.
and especially here's the thing. I mean, we just talked about how Stephen King has a writing style that is very hard. Different medium because what you said with very descriptive stuff. So with Terry Pratchett, it's like he also has a very distinct writing style with a lot of humor that happens between the dialogue and between the actions, just how he describes stuff, how he randomly pops inside information about in each book when he introduces Ankh-Morpork for the first time, he gives a little different notch about what's crazy about this city. And you would, when you read a Discworld book, you would think, no, you cannot transfer this into a movie and doing it justice. But the movies that I have seen, they did it well. They did not try to transfer too much of the in-between lines quirkiness because they can't, and they don't try, and this is what they did.
Was it Hogfather? Oh.
I believe I've seen the Hogfather one. Was it the Hogfather one? Where he and his daughter stand on a hill and talk?
Huh?
The Death and his daughter stand on a hill and talk. It's kind of the visual. It's the Hogfather.
Death basically becomes Santa Claus.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. That's by far the best adaptation. I've sworn off doing the Terry Pratchett adaptations for the foreseeable future because he was my favorite author. So there's a lot of very powerful emotions going into reviewing those because I was very, very upset when he died. And I don't agree that they've ever really done them justice, but they've tried their best. So there's a lot of mixed feelings about those adaptations. So they're currently one of the few things that are on my I really don't think I'll ever do this list, just for no real good reason other than I just really don't want to.
Absolutely fair. Now, what I personally think is fascinating about them, how well they were still able to capture something like death with his glowing eyes and stuff, and it's basically like the first Harry Potter movie. The first Harry Potter movie is trying very hard to be very close to the book, like with the presentation and everything, but at the end, as a movie, it fell flat. But it was a visualization to the book and could not really stand on itself. They got better with this in the later movies where they had a little bit, where they were more courageous in actually adapting stuff within the adaptation. But yeah. Dom, now you still owe us a recommendation at least for a good adaptation.
Well, I mean, for a good adaptation, I'd probably say Princess Bride. In regards to underrated, I'd say it's the book itself. More people need to read the book because, as I mentioned in the episode, there's more to it than meets the eye because the guy who wrote it pretended that he didn't. He said that he was just adapting the book from an earlier written book that was full of a lot of really bizarre stuff. So a quarter of the book or so is him explaining how he adapted this book, which he didn't. He actually just wrote the book. It's all made up. But it's really interesting the way he did that. So it's the adaptation, the movie adaptation is kind of ironic because the book is called The Princess Bride, Just the Good Bits. And the film is basically just the good bits of just the good bits. So it's weird because it's like a progressive adaptation, one step of which doesn't actually exist. It was made up. So I think more people need to read that book just for the bizarrety of that, the way it's written.
It kind of sounds like how in the movie they make it out like the grandpa just made up the story, but then it has the implication that he was, No, at the end of The Princess Bride, there's like that implication that the story actually did happen.
I did not pick up on that. Well, they implied that the grandfather was Wesley?
Yeah.
But he would have to be like 500 years old for that to work.
This is a mythical movie where there's giant rats. I don't think, there's different jumps that we can make in logic here. I don't know. That's what I gleaned off of it when I was a child.
Kind of more like a long jump with a pole jump of logic to me, but.
But look, I was a young child when I watched The Princess Bride. I wanted to believe he was Wesley.
Okay. I mean, they both had mustaches, I'll give it that.
Yeah. Okay, so next question from Poe64. What is your favorite Star Wars movie? If none, any movie in general. Well, Star Wars.
Yeah, I would say one should at least. I mean, even if you hate all, how many are there now? 8. Even if you hate all, if you count Rogue One as well, then there are 9. If you also count
And then
Solo, since
Solo.
it's already out. Anyways, even if you hate all of them, the one you least hate is still your favorite. So
I would say my. Oh yeah, Dom, go.
Just I didn't hate. I
just wanted to say I also don't hate them. So
I love Star Wars.
but liking Star Wars nowadays.
Oh, I think your microphone's cut out.
Oh, no, I was just liking Star Wars nowadays has become controversial, you know.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, what would you say is your favorite?
I'm determined not to talk over someone this time. Are we taking turns?
Okay.
Go, Dom, go.
I want to say Empire Strikes Back so I can be a hipster, but I think A New Hope, the first one, is my favorite because it just, as a film, it works so perfectly. I mean, yeah, it borrows heavily from the standard hero's journey, but it's and no matter how many times I watch that tension scene at the end where Luke's about to fire off his torpedoes into the Death Star, I never don't get into that. It as that entire sequence works perfectly on every level of filmmaking. And I get chills every time I see it. So while Empire might be a better movie in that it's more original in its storyline, I said A New Hope will always be, as far as I'm concerned, one of the most perfect films that was ever made.
Keyframe.
Probably a tie between Force Awakens and Rogue One. I love the originals. Keep in mind, I love the originals. I'm one of those people that loves the originals and hated the prequels. And before Force Awakens came out, Empire Strikes Back was my favorite. I still think Empire Strikes Back is the best constructed movie out of them. But just because that's objectively probably the best, doesn't mean that it's my favorite. I don't know. I connected to the characters in Force Awakens and Rogue One better. I think that's just the long and short of it. I love Finn. Finn as a character is one of my favorite characters in the Star Wars universe. And Rogue One it felt like, a war, and there was some actual, like, I don't know, when each character died, it felt like it takes a lot for me to get emotionally connected to these characters that I know there is a reason why they are not in the original movies, to still get connected with them and feel bad when they die, which is a great achievement. So I really like them, and I also just love how they're shot. They look great. Rogue One, I think, has, of the modern Star Wars films, I think Rogue One has the best cinematography. Compared to Force Awakens and Last Jedi. Hopefully Solo will at least look good. Please. Look, man.
I'm going to give it a chance because I really loved Rogue One. I liked it way more than I like Last Jedi, which I know annoys some people, but I'm going to give Solo the benefit of the doubt until I see it.
I want to give Solo hope because it's a good idea, and I like their casting, especially Donald Glover as Lando, but hearing about all the production hell it went through, I'm just kind of like, please be production hell that ends with a happy ending. Please. And I don't trust critics when it comes to Star Wars anymore because their opinions on Star Wars has been going down since Force Awakens. So, and I don't trust the audience because, so I will just trust my own judgment whether it's trash or not. But what about you, Maximilian?
I'm personally into a little bit of an underrated gem when it comes to the Star Wars.
If it's Revenge of the Sith, I'm going to kill you.
No. Wait, Revenge of the Sith was the third of the prequels?
Yes.
Oh, no. I was actually going for the Star Wars Holiday Special.
This isn't the last question. We can't end the show. This isn't the last question.
No, it's not. Okay, it's not.
Okay, good boy. I knew you were joking, but even that was a groaner. Wow.
Fun fact, I've actually never seen the Star Wars Christmas special. I know of its existence. I have seen, I believe, Nostalgia Critics take on it. Did he? Yeah, I believe he made a video about it. But no, actually, now it will be grown after. Because, yeah, I personally, among the prequels, I mean, the first one was pretty the second one was boring as fuck, but Revenge of the Sith actually had elements, the dark elements in it, I liked. I mean, I like the original trilogy. I also enjoyed Force Awakens, and despite glaring plot holes and moments of stupidity in characters, I also enjoyed The Last Jedi very much. So far there is no there are 2 Star Wars movies I dislike, namely Episode 1 and 2. But but yeah, I like the vast majority of Star Wars movies. And no, but Revenge of the Sith, I mean, it might be because the original trilogy was so long back that I don't trust myself not to be nostalgic about it. Then 1 and 2 came out, and yeah, 1 I originally liked it, but then it became weaker with every viewing. 2 I even was not intrigued with on the first viewing. I was just like, But the third one really it left an impression with me with how it dark. I mean, yeah, the writing is not great. I mean, it's probably more on the guilty pleasure spectrum, but I liked how it turned dark. Sorry.
Not from my perspective of the situation. No, I mean, the fight sequences in the third movie, out of the prequel gymnastics competition that was the prequel fight scenes, the third one was actually kind of decent. I like the ending of Revenge of the Sith, but I refuse to slog through the first 2/3 of the movie. I am a prequel hater. I can't stand the prequels. I'm one of those fans.
It's not a controversial statement. It's
yeah.
It's not a good movie. It's not.
It's not. It's not. It's one of my majority opinions, and I'm proud to have. But our last question from Denim Ninja is for Dom. And what animal? Stop playing during the podcast.
Fine.
We'll show it during the post show.
Fair enough.
But from Denim Ninja, what animal do you feel would be least suitable for your persona? So if you got turned into an animal today, Dom, that could talk, what would you least want to turn into?
Think Robin Hood, think Zootopia. Other good examples.
Like a animal, anthropomorphic animal.
Yes.
Yes.
The least fitting one.
Least fitting one.
A turtle.
I've actually seen Zootopia, which I feel bad about because I hear it was really good. I hear there was some sexy tigers in it. Can I choose sexy tiger? Because
yes.
I've never really felt like a sexy tiger in my life. I have to...
These tigers are covered in glitter. They're fabulous.
Okay.
And then...
I've never woken up this morning, looked at the man and thought, damn, son, you're looking like a sexy tiger today. So that would probably be the least like me.
Okay, what would be the most fitting for you? What animal would you want to turn into?
Are you trying to turn the Dom into a furry?
No, I'm not like you who keeps trying to turn all of our friends into furries. No, I'm just... look, if you ask the least, it would make sense to ask for the vice versa.
I don't know, like a... What's the one from the Muppets that's dead snooty? The eagle guy?
The bald eagle?
Yes, you would be an eagle.
Bald eagle, yeah, let's go with that.
You adapted quickly to moving to America, didn't you? Already identifying with a bald eagle.
I identify as a bald eagle. Pip pip cheerio.
Oh god, that's the word. Of all the British stereotypes, the pip pip and cheerio, that and the bad teeth are my two least favourite. Because in the history of British kind, no one has ever said those words unironically. There's no one said pip pip out of like a Charles Dickens novel.
Oh, I'm so sorry that I said that. I made this kind of awkward, didn't I?
A and Y and Key say hi to the people in the chat. The meme has seen on this live stream and talk about random crap. It's time for AWKWARDCast. Random random guests and funny gags. It's the awkward cast. Artists and analysis. You do not want to miss the awkward cast.